Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview Sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. With me, as always, is our esteemed co-host, the inventor of the infomercial and the original shark on Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us, as always.
That's great to be here. Thank you.
Great to have you. Today, our very special guest is Greg Reiter. Greg's claim to fame started when, at the age of 21, he became the youngest owner of a full-service investment bank in the United States, helping raise money for companies like Home Shopping Network and many other household names. He is a serial entrepreneur and CEO of multiple companies, a couple of which we're going to talk today. Greg, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, I appreciate it. And whenever you say that story about that youngest 21, you also have to say, and that was his first big mistake in life.
I will make sure to include that next time. Now, today's interview is going to be very unique in that we're sort of flipping the mic on Mr. Harrington as well, because we're here today to talk about the Mastermind Investment Club, which he is a huge part of. Greg, how did the Mastermind Investment Club come about?
Well, you know, Kevin and I have known each other for well over a decade. We've made investments together. We've made some money together. We've lost some money together, but we both come from this world. And I started Angel Investors Network in 1997. Kevin became an investor in Angel Investors Network. And to make a long story short, with a venture that I ended up investing with Kevin in, I met a guy named Bernd Ullman, who is arguably one of the top branding moguls on planet Earth. We ended up forming a new company together. So my focus is saying, I'm going to switch to running celebrity lifestyle brands with Bernd. And so I went to Kevin. I said, Kevin, I want to change the direction. I want to create a new partnership with you. I want you to become equal partners with me on Angel Investors Network. And let's change the focus from serving entrepreneurs to really focusing on helping investors invest with us. Because we know that you're sitting there in front of Shark Tank or The Profit or the West Texas Investors Club, and you're saying to yourself, man, I'd like to invest in that deal. So I went to Kevin. I said, Kevin, let's create a club where people can invest right alongside of us. We'll use our team to do the due diligence and kind of get this stuff going. And then Kevin, you can kind of give your response to when I said that, because it was pretty classic.
Yeah, you're going to have to remind me, but that's okay. I just want to say a couple things, though. Bernd Ullman, as you mentioned, who's part of all of this, Bernd has been the CEO of Tommy Hilfiger's company for many, many years. And he's, as you said, a branding expert. He deals, Star Branding, one of their entities, Jennifer Lopez and Adam Levine and, amazing different branding celebrities that they've been involved with for lots of years. He's part of the team. But the other thing then, when you talk about investing, Greg, it's so funny because one of the original deals you were involved with was Home Shopping Network. And that's why I live in St. Pete, Florida, right? So I've been part of doing business at that group for literally 30 years now. I started in 1986, moved here in 94 in a venture with them. And, getting in on that stock in the early days, well, tell us the quick story. It started out at like $10 and went to 100 and something like that, Greg?
Yeah, no, we actually got in, and their first financing we did was like their first round. It was $600,000 at $1 a share.
$1 a share.
$1 a share. And that was back when, the market cap was probably, 7, 8, 10 million. Not even that. Probably I think it was like 5 to 6 million. Because back in the 80s when we did this, that was a big valuation. And, now they're valued at $1 billion, like $10 billion.
Right.
So it's one of those claim to fames that I have, for all the hundreds of losers that we've had. But we did, believe in people's dreams. And I got to say something about that. I think about what Kevin's done and what I do. That to me is what I call torrential downpour economics. So, because when a guy like me believed in an entrepreneur and we gave them $600,000, look at what that did over the next 3 or 4 decades. How many jobs, how many billions of dollars, the shipping, the accountants, the bookkeepers, the manufacturing, the products, the services. It literally touched millions of jobs and with a torrential downpour of economics for our economy, which is what Kevin and I are all about. We're all about helping the entrepreneur, and now we're bringing the investor side in. And remember we were at the San Diego and I brought this up, you looked up and you said, dang, that's right. We need to get investors in there and do more deals, right? Because we only have so much capital, so much time we can do. So I thought it was exciting when you kind of looked up in the air and you're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. So
I mean, the HSN story is that you know when to hold them, know when to fold them. HSN, it was $1 a share. It went to $100 a share. Now, today, it's back at around $31. Okay, so it had its run, and so today is not the day that we as angel investors would go to an HSN. They're on the way down. We're looking for the next tech kind of thing that's on its way up, and that's the whole point of what we're doing with this venture, Angel Investors Network, our mastermind clubs, is that we have all this deal flow coming to us. And so with all of that opportunity, we then pick a couple winners here and there that we think are going to be winners. And then when we put money in, we offer these opportunities to those around us to be able to get in on the ground floor. So that's kind of how this all works. And this is part of the mastermind is, Greg, the symbols that you were talking about we came up with. Go ahead and tell us.
Oh, yeah, the acronym. So the acronym was the DVR model of investing. So you have the DVR, and it's deal flow, vetting, and Rolodex. Deal flow, vetting, and Rolodex. So between Angel Investors Network, and I actually created angelnetwork.com, the domain, in 1997. So our brand has been around for decades. We get tons of deal flow. Obviously, Kevin being on Shark Tank, he gets tons of deal flow. Michael Fugler gets deal flow, who's our investment banker on the team and our lawyer on the team. And then we have Bern Ullman gets deal flow. So between the four of us, we get the deal flow that's crazy. And then what we look at is we vet the deal going, we have seen so many deals, and Kevin can attest this, we see so many deals. We have the ability literally within 2 to 3 minutes to go pass. I mean, when you look at 1,000, 2,000 deals a year, you can instantly tell which one's going to fly. And people say, I got the hottest deal. It's like, no, you don't. I just saw 3 of those last week, right? So we're vetting deals fast. And then once we find a deal that we like, we have the ability, the due diligence team, and the people to really vet the deal, right? And then our Rolodex. Then we look at our Rolodex and go, okay, who in our Rolodex can help get us into Lowe's? Who in our Rolodex can help this direct marketing online with Seth and whatever doing, Facebook marketing and that kind of stuff? And we look at our Rolodex and we really try to ensure that through our Rolodex, we can accelerate growth, accelerate success, and make that all happen. So it's a DVR model of investing tied in with the whole traditional mastermind concept.
Exactly. Go ahead, Seth.
I was going to say, I love the acronym. I love the way you made it easy to understand. Talk about the mastermind aspect to it.
Go ahead, Kevin.
No, I'm just going to say, basically what we said is that investors, we had an event last year at the Planet Hollywood in Vegas, the Freedom Fest with Steve Forbes. And we took there was thousands of pitches that came for money. That got whittled down to 20. And again, deal flow, okay? That's the D. Then it got whittled down to 20. So we vetted then those thousands down to 20. And this was Bern Ullman and Greg Ryder and Kevin Harrington and Steve Forbes from Forbes Magazine. We vet them down to 20. Then we took 20 pitches, and then we picked out of the 20, we picked the top 5 that got to go live in front of 2,000 people and present theirs to a panel of judges that I just mentioned, Bern Ullman, Kevin Harrington, and Steve Forbes. And there was one winner out of all of that. Right now, we also could invest in some of these other ones along the way. But this is, and now we're doing this all again coming up in July, back again in Las Vegas at Freedom Fest. Some of the same characters from Bern Ullman to Kevin Harrington, Steve Forbes, Greg Ryder, et cetera. So this is what we do. And these investors that we meet along the way, they're like, now what is it you look for? How do you know this is good? And so we're like, Greg and I said, you know what? Investors need a mastermind to come in with us, hang with some of ourselves, understand the checklist. What are the boxes that you got to check before we make those investments, right? And then, so you've got the D, then you got the V for the vetting, the D for deal flow, the V for the vetting, the Rolodex. Who do we know that can help us make this happen? I mean, yeah, Bern Ullman, as CEO of Tommy Hilfiger, he's going to be able to get massive distribution, celebrity involvement. That's the Rolodex. Me, I'm going to be able to do commercials, get some social media influencers, take it into retail stores, et cetera, and Steve Forbes, hey, it's going to write a great story about it maybe in the magazine. So, this is pulling it all together. And when you join our mastermind, you're hanging with the big dogs, so to speak, that find out about these investments and about how to do the research, the analysis, and the checking of the boxes. Go ahead, Greg, you finish it off.
Yeah, no, and again, hey, does this little green box, does it flip back and forth when I talk? I don't see it doing that when I talk. Anyway, so the other thing, the mastermind concept, and what's interesting about this, we've been talking about people applying to join our club. We're very selective of who gets in our mastermind investment club. And one of the things interesting enough is people never heard the term mastermind. So, that's kind of in our world. So I've been articulating it this way, going, well, Napoleon Hill was commissioned to write a book by Dale Carnegie. He traveled around the world for 20 years and interviewed the most successful businessmen on planet Earth for 20 years, and he came up and he found that these people had 13 characteristics. Well, one of those characteristics is they all had a mastermind. And the idea of a mastermind is when you get together with like-minded people with like-minded goals and you start to talk about things, it spurs your mind and your creativity to come up with solutions, to come up with different things. So you think about the Rolodex that Bernd has, I have, Michael Fugler has, and Kevin has, and then let's say we add 100 people to our club, and we're all in a meeting and we're talking about this next investment. Somebody raises their hand, oh, I got this distribution channel. Oh, I got this guy for prototyping. Oh, I've got this technology guy, or I've got this guy. So a lot of times Kevin and I will look at a deal and we'll pass on a deal because, like, for instance, I know nothing about biotech. I know there's great money to be made in biotech, but I pass on every biotech deal because I don't have somebody in my immediate thing that I trust, like say, can you look at this deal? So the mastermind concept is we're going to have these meetings 2 to 3 times a year at different places where we're already going to be at. And then we're going to present different strategies and different things from investments, but then we're going to talk about the deals that we're looking at that we want to invest in, that we think is a good investment opportunity. And we're going to allow the other members to contribute as well. So we really believe that adding this concept of masterminding with our investing, I don't know anyone that's done it. I think this is a first, and I think it's going to be really tremendous in giving us the ability to accelerate the companies that we partner with and help them be successful, which is the key to this whole investing in early stage companies.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. I just read an article over yesterday where Kevin O'Leary from the other Kevin on Shark Tank was talking about how there are companies that are only from Shark Tank that only succeed because of the interrelationship of all of the other companies in those investors' portfolios. Like Kevin likes to talk about the Something Wonderful platform and how he can cross-sell, Wicked cupcakes to dresses to everything, to greeting cards to all of his brides. So I think you're talking about something similar in terms of we can make our network work together to make these companies even more successful than they would already be.
Absolutely. That's the key. And what that does is that lowers their marketing costs. It lowers their customer acquisition costs. It just gives them, everything is more efficient and more effective when you can add that human capital in that network. And of course, we've heard Kevin say it 100 times, you and I, your net worth is directly related to your network. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And actually better said, Kevin says, it's who knows you.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly.
Are there any limitations on the Mastermind Investment Club? Do we have to be an accredited investor with the SEC in order to qualify? How does that work?
No, we actually are allowing non-accredited investors to be involved in the club because with the new crowdfunding laws and the new smaller rounds that are being done, and it just costs less to start and launch a business. And we do see a lot of companies that, hey, giving them a couple $100,000, they can start cash flowing with direct response marketing, which you're well aware of. So we are allowing, we are looking for, but they do need to have the commitment to come to our events, and they don't necessarily have to invest. We want their commitment. If they like a deal and they find a deal, they're going to invest 10 to 50, $100,000 in multiple deals. And so far, the people that are joining the club have $1 million. They are accredited. I don't think we've had any unaccredited join. and then, 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, and that's just going to keep growing. And this is new. We only have, I think, 12 members right now, but our anticipation is that we're going to add 1,000 in the next 12 to 24 months and really be able to use technology, stuff like this Zoom, to do more frequent, deal offerings. And again, I read this article, and I'm going to do a white paper on it in a PowerPoint presentation. I haven't even shared this with Kevin, but there's a really big thing happening in Silicon Valley. And it's kind of what we're doing in one respect, in that you have what they call lead investors, and the people always want to invest in Silicon Valley, but angel investors in Portland or New York, they don't invest in Silicon Valley and historically, because angel investors who are taking the highest risk in that early stage, they want to walk into the office, they want to shake the hand, they want to see what's going on with their money, they want to be close to doing that. So now what's happening with communication and tools and lead investors and syndicates, that think of us as like we're the lead investor and we're the syndicate. So once you believe and have trust in us to do our job on the due diligence side, the structure side, the management team side, all that kind of stuff, then it doesn't matter where you live in the country, you can invest in a deal that might be in Silicon Valley. You can maybe invest in a deal that's going to be in Los Angeles, wherever, or New York, whatever, because you believe in us and we actually do go and shake their hand belly to belly, do our due diligence and research. So we have somebody basically that does that. So it's kind of a new concept that's really taken form in the last 3 to 5 years, where like a lead investors in a syndicate. And that's what we're doing. We're calling it a club though. And we're offering other benefits. So for instance, and again, Kevin, I haven't even shared this with Kevin, but I asked Seth to come to our mastermind. So we know there's business owners in our mastermind. So if they need help and they want to talk about direct response marketing, if they want internet marketing, whatever that is, we want to help you build your business as well. So this isn't just about investing. It's about rising tides rise together and helping everybody be successful and providing value as a member to the membership.
Exactly. It's all coming together. So, Greg, the Vegas event is going to be a big kind of a kickoff for us in coming out with our program. And Seth, you churn lots of people through your process. Do you think there's a great educational opportunity here? What are your thoughts on it?
Absolutely. We've been generating leads for investors who are interested in investing in companies that happen to be our clients for years. And we get a lot of the same questions. So I think not only is this a great network for them to belong to and a great group for them to be a part of, in addition to the investment opportunities, but I think down the line, I would love to see you guys do a product where this is our process for investing, the giant binder full of DVDs, box of stuff, the mind of Kevin, Greg, and Bernd and Michael, where for people who are in the group who want to take it to the next level and learn, they get it. And then for people who aren't in the group, maybe it's a great lead generator where they buy it and then say, man, this is amazing. I don't want to do all this myself. I just want to join and have these guys do all the work for me.
That's inevitably what happens. Both Kevin and I have spoken to hundreds of thousands of people. Whenever I speak to investors and I talk to them about early stage investing and the returns and how it works and the excitement about it, and like Shark Tank and like the profit and like West Texas Investors Club, I go at the end of my speech, how many people want to make this investment? They all raise their hand. Like literally, 90% of the room raise their hand. And I go, how are you going to do the due diligence to protect your money? And no one raised their hand. It's just like, and then somebody yells, hey, Ryder, why don't you start a fund? So this is kind of an alternative to us starting a fund. And actually, we have a fund coming. We've actually formed a fund. We have a fund coming, and we're going to be announcing that fund at Freedom Fest as well. So that's exciting as well.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, the mastermind, let's put it this way. There's no obligation for anybody to ever invest a dime in any deal. So the worst that happens is they join the mastermind, meet an unbelievable high-level group of people like ourselves. I mean, the CEO of Tommy Hilfiger, you talk about deal flow and success and excitement and opportunities there. I've been on Shark Tank. Greg's been doing this stuff since he was in his low 20s. We've got an amazing group of people. You're going to see some great opportunities and maybe get a different way to look at a lot of different stuff. And so if you want to get involved in some things, great. If you don't, you just had a lot of fun, met some great people, and learned a lot about how to look at deals in a different way at a very high level.
Absolutely. And for our folks who are watching this or listening to us who want to learn more, go to angelnetwork.com/MIC for Mastermind Investment Club. That link will be in the show notes. Kevin, Greg, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your very valuable time.
We appreciate you, Seth. We'll see you in Las Vegas at the Paris Hotel. And for those entrepreneurs out there who are listening, and you might want to say, I want to pitch to those thousands of investors, thepitchtank.com. We still have like 5 slots out of the 20. We've gone through, I think, 900 applications. I think there's 15 or 16 companies that have been chosen. So thepitchtank.com, you can go apply there, and we'll review your deal and see if you're worthy of getting in front of a couple thousand investors.
All right. Thepitchtank.com and angelnetwork.com/MIC. Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to this special productivity series of the Direct Response Marketing Podcast. I've interviewed hundreds of the most successful entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and CEOs all over the world, and I want to share with you one of the biggest ways I've discovered to triple your productivity that I've learned from these amazing people. Even better, I'll pay you $500 to test drive it. Just go to takethe500challenge.com. That's www.takethe500challenge.com to learn more. Thanks so much for listening.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.